Hi guys, this is Katie from Great Lakes Budgets. I wanted to make a video that was a little bit different than what I have made. This is going to be more of like a mid-month check-in, and I want to do that for a few different reasons. So if you've been here for a while, you know that Josh and I are just coming back into budgeting after not doing it for a long time, and we're still kind of finding our way. I don't want to say that we don't know what our goal is, but we've been kind of going back and forth about what we want to prioritize first. And yeah. And I think we're constantly changing things and trying to figure out how we want to accomplish our goals. And I think a big factor in that is, I think just like I'm sure a lot of other people who budget and who watch budgeting videos, I very much get influenced by watching other people's videos who I feel are further along in their journey. And whether consciously or subconsciously, I tend to want to like push myself further along in the journey than I actually am. Oh, thank goodness my heater finally turned off. Okay, so yeah, and I think, comparison is something that is completely normal. It's something intrinsically human, right? It's something we all do, even if we don't mean to. But for Josh and I, we're really trying to work on, focusing on where we are now and where we want to be. And so with that, for the last several videos, I've talked about how debt is our number one push. And while that is true, we also know that there is at least one thing we want to do first. We want to set up our starter sinking fund or starter emergency fund. We have not gotten that yet. And I think if we want to really focus on knocking out this debt, we have to have a backup plan for the unexpected things that pop up, or all this money that we save to put off debt. It's not going to help anything if we end up having to go into debt because of an emergency. So if you've been around the budgeting block for a while, or if you know Dave Ramsey, this list may look pretty familiar. I did use the framework from Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps. I did change it up a little bit, only in the fact that Josh and I don't have kids and we don't intend to have kids. So one of the steps, I think it's the original step 5, is to pay off your kids' college, or to create a college fund for your kids. And since we don't have kids and don't want kids, we don't need that step. But anyways, I think right now what we've decided is that we are really going to focus on using this as a guide for what we want to put our focus into. So, while we've been doing all of our sinking funds going into debt, we are going to shift that, not completely away, but we are going to shift it in that I'm going to be, I've already gone through this actually, but I've gone through all the sinking challenges that I completed or that are currently in the works, and I rolled a die. So I did a D6, and if it was even, it goes to the emergency fund. If it was odd, it goes to debt. And this is a way for us to really put more focus on this emergency fund. It's not completely empty. In fact, I have my binder here so we can take a look at where we are right now. So our goal for the emergency fund is $1,000. And currently in the bank, we have $300. And then in our folder, we have 50, 70, 90, 110, 125. So right now we have $425 in our emergency fund. And we have a goal of $1,000. That is, oh my goodness, 575. Is that right? I think my math is correct there. I'm usually decent with 25s and 75s. So, wow, my math is terrible, but I'm fairly certain we have $575 left to go in our emergency fund. Now, we have, because debt has been a focus for a while now, or our main focus, we have $500 in the bank for debt. We are not at a point right now where emotionally we are willing to take that $500 and put it into our emergency fund. We've just been so proud of saving that up to put a payment towards debt and adding to that to pay towards debt, that I think it would be it would be so discouraging to end up taking this out. So rather than completely start over, we are just going to build on where we are already. One other thing that we have right now that I think we are still trying to decide what we want to do is our chicken fund. So we have quite a bit in our fund for chickens. We have 250, which could go a long way in, getting us to our emergency fund. And the only reason that we are hesitant to take that out is because we have such a short amount of time between now and when we hope to get chickens that we're worried we won't be able to catch up if we take this out. So I think we still have a few more conversations that we want to have about it, but that's kind of where we're sitting right now. So going forwards with our savings challenges and with the money that we pull out for our envelopes outside of, our biweekly spending, what we're putting into sinking funds, we are probably only going to be focusing on our short-term emergency fund, or our starter emergency fund, potentially chickens if we don't decide to get rid of it, and our debt-free. I think initially we are going to start putting a larger percentage towards our emergency fund rather than debt-free. But we also have, like I said, a lot of savings challenges that have already been determined where they're going. And so part of my mid-month catch-up or check-in, I can walk through a little bit of our savings challenges that we've completed so far. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And let me tell you, it's not normal for us to have this many completed so far. We have had a few checks where we've had a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to our savings challenges. And I've also been doing better about not just spending all of my either fund money or miscellaneous dollars. So we've had a bit that we've been able to chuck into these savings challenges outside of the amounts we normally save. But so like I said, I went through and I rolled a dice. Evens went to emergency, odds went to debt. So what I'm going to do right now is just show you, just in a pile without counting it out or anything, where we're sitting when it comes to the which funds are going where, if that makes sense. Debt. Let's see. I am excited to go through and see at the end of the month how much we've been able to save for each of these categories. Obviously, it would feel like a bigger win at the time if this was all going to one location, but I think in the end, this one is going to debt. I think in the end, once we're able to, get our emergency fund funded and have that kind of security blanket, we'll feel a lot better about it. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at this point are going towards emergency fund. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are going towards debt. So I think that's 12 altogether that we've completed. I think I miscounted the first time, but 5 and 7. That's 12, right? Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh, guys. Sometimes I'm not entirely sure how I got through any kind of math classes, but and like I said, I did go through and just rolled the die to figure out where these are going. I think once we are able to feel more comfortable with where our emergency fund is sitting, and once we're able to feel like we've got a decent amount going towards debt, I do think we will start transitioning more into, the rest of our sinking funds. But for where we're sitting right now, our goal is getting this emergency fund and getting rid of this debt. So I do have a video that I posted. Actually, I have two. One that is me going over an Excel spreadsheet that I created, and then the second is more of a close-up breakdown of where our debt is. I think, and I should know this, but I'm pretty sure we're sitting around 141,000. That does include our mortgage though. So, and our mortgage, we very much want to include that into our debt, even though, so the way Dave Ramsey does it, the way that, excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. My dogs were trying to kill each other. So the way that's pretty common is that you do your starter emergency fund, you pay off all of your debt except for your house. Then you make sure you have a fully funded emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of monthly expenses. And then you invest 15% of your total income, so your household income, and then you pay off your house early. Paying off our house early is our biggest goal in life. We are very much the type of people who we want to be able to really enjoy our lives. We want to be able to spend quality time on the land that we've purchased, on the homestead that we just moved on to, and we want to create this quiet, slow life for ourselves. And in order to do that, paying off our house is a big step in that. So, yeah, we, we have, we just moved here, right? So thinking about completely paying off our mortgage feels silly. It feels, I don't know, almost out of reach sometimes, because I think we owe like 118,000 on it, which honestly, compared to a lot of other, states, a lot of other cities, even the city we moved from, 118,000 seems like a very small amount of money, because real estate itself is just crazy. I hear about states out west, their real estate market just, it's insane to me. Luckily, we moved to a place that, here in Michigan, generally, compared to like some of the western states, has a lower cost housing market. But the Upper Peninsula specifically is even lower, mostly because a lot of the communities are considered rural. I have such a hard time with that word. There are a lot of really small communities in the Upper Peninsula. So while there are a lot of people who live here, a lot of the towns are smaller. They, don't have as many amenities as you would find in bigger cities. And so real estate can be much less expensive. We also found a place that is right outside of city limits, which means that, we're allowed to have chickens, we're allowed to have goats and pigs, and we also were able to get a 5-acre plot of land with our house on it for a really decent amount of money. And we live close enough that my husband only has to drive 15 minutes into work, which is fantastic. And this is really our forever home. This is what we've been working for. But what I was kind of where that thought trailed from was that, in some ways we are very blessed to have the mortgage that we do. It just, when you look at it as that large number, it can be so overwhelming. And so we're really trying to focus on not skipping steps here. We're really trying to focus on staying at our pace, right? Like I said, it's so easy to look at other people and where they are on their journey and get caught up in this is where I should be, or why am I not getting here faster? How can I get here faster? And like, there are some days where I've caught myself considering getting a part-time job to work only on the weekends, which, a lot of people do that. And a lot of people either need to do that or use that as a way to pay everything off a lot easier. And while I could do that, while my husband could get two jobs, we also have to balance it on the fact that we are very much people who want to enjoy our lives. And so I think sometimes we get so caught up in focusing on, what we want for our future, that we don't remember to take care of the people we are today. And as it is, I already get so stressed out Monday to Friday from work. My weekends are honestly just days that I use to let my brain turn off, to kind of balance out that constant stress during the week. And so as much as I would love to, as much as I would appreciate the extra income from a second job, we're not starving, we're not a month away from losing our house. We don't absolutely need a second job. And I guess I don't really know where I'm going with that. I hope that someone out there understands what I'm saying, but yeah, I guess my point is that we're learning to figure out how to balance our future goals and our current goals while taking care of ourselves, because yeah, it should be about, budgeting your money and saving this should be important, but it shouldn't be so important that it makes you burn out. And that's not what we don't want that for ourselves. So we want to push ourselves, but we don't want to push ourselves into a place that we are just not happy anymore. And so, yeah, that's kind of all I've got to say. I've rambled on for so long now, and I'm not really even sure how that started or why that started. I guess this has just been on my mind, and yeah, I hope someone out there can relate. I hope if you're listening, you just remember that everybody who is on a budgeting journey had to start somewhere, and a large majority of people who budget their finances do so because they got to a place where they felt stuck. And so if you're feeling stuck right now and you're looking at all these people who have a lot of freedom with their income and with the way that they can save their money, remember that at one point they probably also felt very stuck with their income. So it's something I have to keep reminding myself. So that is kind of what I have to say today. I'm going to stop myself now because I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, and I don't mean to be like on a soapbox here. I don't intend to. I guess I don't really know what else to say at this point. So I hope that you guys who are here stick around. I hope that someone out there understands, the message that I'm trying to put out there. I hope that somebody is also in the same spot as me and just trying to figure things out. And if you are, let's be friends. Let's figure things out together and grow together. And yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you'd like, subscribe, it would really be helpful to my channel. And I hope to see you guys next time. So thanks for being here, guys.